In the southern provinces of Tang Dynasty, China, there lived a poor woodcutter named Huineng. Each morning, he would rise with the mist and walk deep into the forest. The axe was heavy, the work hard, but he never complained. To him, life was simple: chop, carry, sell, and care for his widowed mother. One day, while selling firewood in the market, he heard a voice unlike any other. A monk was chanting scripture.
One should develop a mind which does not dwell on anything.
Just one sentence, and something inside him shifted. That night, he could not sleep. The words echoed again and again. He sat outside under the stars, wondering,
what was that? Why did those words feel like they were meant for me?
One day he returned home to find his mother quietly preparing rice in the kitchen. He knelt down, his voice quiet but unwavering.
Mother, something has stirred in me. I must go north. I must find the source of that voice.
His mother looked at him, eyes filled with worry, and something else. Then she nodded.
If your heart tells you to go, then go.
He stepped through the doorway with his bundle,
threaded by a mother's hand, worn on a wanderer's back, sewn stitch by stitch before his journey, fearing he'd never return. How can a blade of grass repay the warmth of spring?
His mother stood silently watching him go. And so he walked, 30 days across winding paths, mountain ridges, and cold nights. He had no map, only a sentence in his heart. He crossed rivers step by step, never hesitating. Sometimes he slept beneath trees, listening to the wind pass by. At last he arrived at the eastern mountain monastery and stood before its great gate. The monk on duty looked at him, puzzled.
You? A poor boy from the south? What could you possibly learn here?
Though people may come from the north or south, the Buddha nature knows no such distinctions. Even a candle can light the darkness, if its flame is true.
Huineng answered. Monks inside the temple turned to watch the southern woodcutter with quiet curiosity. Then the Fifth Patriarch Hongren appeared. He looked at Huineng once and said,
"Let him in."
In that moment, their eyes met. It was as if Hongren had known him already. They gave him no teachings, no scripture, no robe, only rice to pound and silence to keep. The storeroom was hot. He stood and carried rice, his robe soaked with sweat. He wiped his brow. A faint smile crossed his lips. At night, he sat alone in the mill room, eyes closed in meditation. Candlelight lit his face, a face of quiet resolve. Sometimes he would fall asleep beside the rice piles, and the Fifth Patriarch watched him in silence. He stood in the hallway, flames flickering behind him, his brow furrowed slightly, eyes deep in thought. Some monks, too, had begun to notice the southerner in the mill. That night, Hongren walked into his chamber where the candlelight flickered in the breeze. He sat in silence and sat.
Though people may come from the north or south, the Buddha nature knows no such distinctions.
The Fifth Patriarch sat in the lamplight, lost in thought.